My grandmother, Esther, was a happy and talented person, loved and admired. Her friends didn't know that she carried a sense of guilt and sadness with her. Esther was with her mother, Meryl, at the Mayo Clinic when her mother died after having been hit by a runaway horse and buggy in North Dakota in 1913. Well, of course, that was tragic, but something else happened. Esther was the oldest daughter in the family, having one older brother and 6 younger siblings. So when their mother died, Esther became responsible for her younger siblings, along with her father. On the 10th of November, 1918, Armistice Day, while the older brother Sam, an infantry sergeant, was in Europe, their youngest brother, Benjamin Dove, 8 years old, died at home in the flu pandemic. Esther was married already, with a little girl and a baby boy born just 3 weeks earlier. She had her hands full. She wasn't responsible for the millions who died in that global pandemic, but she felt responsible for the death of her little brother. I wish I could go back and help relieve her sense of guilt and sadness. She did so much to give her younger siblings and her own children decent and good lives. But today, in the midst of a global pandemic, I want to talk a little bit about responsibility. From the Musaf Amidah of the New Year. Mipnei chata'enu galinu me-artsenu. On account of our sins, we have been exiled from our country and dispersed from our land. We are unable to fulfill our obligations in your chosen temple, the great and sacred temple that bears your name, due to the force applied against your sanctuary. On account of our sins, we have been banished from public gatherings and dispersed to quarantine in our homes. We are unable to fulfill our obligations in our synagogues and schools that bear your name. We are unable to hug our grandchildren, dance at our weddings, comfort our dying, or bury our dead. We are unable to welcome guests to our tables due to the virus that threatens all humanity. Generations ago, our people experienced catastrophic loss and were exiled at the hands of the Babylonians and then the Romans. The High Holy Days prayers explained the exile as being on account of our sins. It would have been reasonable to say, on account of the Babylonian army and wicked imperial Rome. No small country lasted long against those mighty empires. Nevertheless, we say the exile occurred on account of our sins. Are we not blaming the victims here? While blaming the empires for our downfall would be historically justified, our ancestors preferred to take responsibility for their national fate because it implied that we have control over our collective destiny. When we were slaves in Egypt, we were stuck. We thought of ourselves as powerless victims, subjects to Pharaoh. We were trapped. Our experience of liberation showed us that even a small, struggling people can overcome a great empire. Ultimately, no matter what they did or they do, we say to the king of Babel, to the Caesar in Rome, to the chancellor in Germany, we control our destiny. so too in our private lives. Look, some people have in fact been victims in big ways, and the trauma and impact can be devastating. I recognize that. But that is not the same as letting victimhood be a dominant defining trait. Healing and wellness require empowerment and control. It is better for us to focus on the limited measure of control we have, even if we fudge philosophically the concept of blame. Yet the house of Israel say, the way of the Lord is unfair. Are my ways unfair, O house of Israel? Is it not your ways that are unfair? So the prophet Ezekiel quotes the Lord. None of us created or caused the pandemic. To the contrary, some in our community have worked heroically to develop better governance, stronger societies, more robust public health systems and medical knowledge, and even more specifically, have worked in epidemiology, public health, patient care, and medical fields to prevent and treat precisely such incidents. And many in our community have worked tirelessly, heroically, at personal risk and expense to keep the rest of us alive and well, to give us hope during this episode. Nevertheless, we must say that it happened due to our collective sins. COVID-19 is not the only, and it is not the biggest problem in the world. We could have done more to prevent and control this new malady. The options to improve our medical care system, at least specifically crisis and pandemic response provisions, have been fairly well known to those in the field for a long time. And while some aspects of preparation were done very well, others were dismal and deadly failures. There is no lack of dedication among our medical workers. You guys are our heroes, but we suffer from long-standing systemic deficiencies in our governments, in our organization. We were unwilling to spend enough on medical research, unwilling to prepare stockpiles of supplies and maintain human capacity, unwilling to provide comprehensive medical care to all. We have the best medical workers, the best medicine, the best science in the world, but we do not have the best system. We never got the Obamacare as envisioned or the alternative Romney care. We never even got the Trump care. We just got pieces that don't fit together well, an accidental system that works well for some, but dismally for so many others. Many of our Becky members rose to the occasion in face of this new global crisis. Our medical heroes, those who made calls, made deliveries, funded, reached out, helped one another, who kept us together. This Rosh Hashanah, each of us can renew our commitment to make the world a better place for our own family, our community, our neighbors, and our nations. Honestly, I don't know if in the next 3 months or 6 months, things will get better or worse. But I do know, and I am sure, that if you rededicate yourself to what you already know needs to be done, then the world will be better than it would have been without your efforts, than it would have been without you. In this new year, we are going to make a better life and a better world with you. L'Shana Tova tikatevu.